The other platforms on Channels Television will continue with Business Morning. Now let's see what's happening with Naira and see how
This is a live Channels Television event.
Africa Independent Television. My colleagues, the regular colleagues on the ministerial chart are here, and of course we have two new faces who are joining us today. You get to meet all of them now. And from my immediate right here, Ayo.
Ayo Jimmy Ozuba from TVC News.
Amadine Uyi, News Central Television.
All right, let's cross to the other side of the aisle. Yeah, the new face too.
My name is Chijoke Okafo, Advocate Broadcasting Network, ADBN.
Olufisa Ogunfuyi, Nigerian Television Authority.
Chamberlain Uso, Channels TV.
All right, and maybe together we say, good to see the minister again after such a long time, such a long layoff. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's exactly 1 year ago today that you were sworn in as a minister, deployed to the FCT, and you became the 17th minister to take charge of the Federal Capital Territory. And I remember that day when you drove that first meeting with the workers and the media, you laid out an elaborate plan to transform the FCT. 1 year down the lane, how has the journey been?
Well, Benga, thank you very much. I would liken this to be like a birthday, for example. You know, when God gives you life, you add a year, you thank God for that. It's an appointment that by the grace of God, we were able to stay for 1 year. It is not because we are more important or we are more intelligent, but as it pleases God and by using His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic, to give us this opportunity. So we must thank God for everything. I think one must say that so far we are very, very happy. Very happy in the sense that we have heard from the news, we have been told that they can feel the impact of our government as far as the FCT is concerned. The experience is quite very interesting. Interesting, not that it's always all that good. Challenges are there, natural. But it's a good experience that being a former governor of a state and now being a minister in the Federal Capital Territory, two different things. Here you are talking about Nigeria. In the state you are talking about, yes, that does not mean that there are no outsiders who are living in the state. But here is Nigeria you are talking about. Here you are talking about the diplomatic communities. Here you are talking about who is who in Nigeria. And so the pattern of administration or governance will always be different. And so I feel so elated that when I came on board, you know, there was this agitation, seen and unseen. Oh, it's not from a particular part of the country. And therefore, everything was done to make sure that it was not easy for us, to make sure that all the cries, according to them, being justified. But thank Mr. President for having the confidence in us and believing in us that we will not disappoint him and will not disappoint Nigerians. Today, one can beat his chest to say that we're happy what we have done. Residents of Abuja are happy what we have done. I'm sure even you who are here, if you see it on your own, you will say, look, we're happy with what we have seen as far as FCT is concerned. Our ambition is to make FCT be a livable city where people can feel comfortable, where we can say, yes, we have been traveling around the world. We have seen how cities are planned. We have seen infrastructure in cities. That is our own ambition, to turn FCT to one of the best cities in the world, not only because of infrastructure, but also in terms of environment, also in terms of security, that, look, we're happy. And if you look at when we came, what was the state of FCT? Where were we? And then where are we today? As at the time we came, you can attest to the fact that nothing was virtually working in FCT. FCT was just like, oh, yes, it's the capital territory, so what? Infrastructure was not everything. Contractors have left every site. So it was like, come on, what are we seeing? Insecurity was the order of the day. The sanitation was very poor. Everywhere was dark. So it was a big challenge. And like I've said, when you have a support of the appointee who believes in you and gives you all the necessary support that you require, and you are also committed to achieving the results, you will see that things will come out clear. And that's what we have seen today. Where do I start from? Where do I start from? FCT was where staff could not achieve their ambition, where their growth was stagnated, and nobody could take the bull by the horn to say, look, how do we make sure that people who are working are happy with the system? Their growth is not stunted. And that's why I would say leadership in everything you do is key. So many people are running away from this aspect. This person, the former other president was saying, you know, we should not do this, we should not implement it. But it took the leadership of the president to say, listen, I had said my government is renewed hope agenda. If my government is renewed hope agenda, then why would I not bring back that hope that is lost? Why would I not bring back that hope that the workers here will feel that, yes, I've lost hope, we have lost hope, we can't grow. And the first thing he did, I'm here for you, was to implement that FCT should be autonomous by having its own permanent secretaries, which was hitherto never allowed, by having their own head of service, by establishing their own civil service commission. The day the president made that approval, you can see the happiness of workers. Can this be true? Is it possible? Yes. That is the essence of Renew Hope agenda. Now today, in this FCT, we have not less than 12, 13 permanent secretaries. Before now, we only have one permanent secretary who been posted from the Federal Civil Commission, not even staff of the FCT. But that is no longer the case. Today, you have a head of service of FCT. Today, you have Civil Service Commission that is in charge of training, discipline of workers, promotion of workers. Now, what it means, take for example, two have retired and another two have been appointed. So you can see, people are now, oh, I'm a director. There's hope. I'll one day be permanent secretary. Not only that, there also be hope I may be the head of service. Because the current head of service now is retiring in the next 1 month. So somebody will occupy that position, which was not there before. So you can imagine the happiness in workers. Now, Mr. President said, look, yes, we have had mandate secretary, but there are key areas. Our administration, in the Hope agenda, has always anchored on inclusivity of governance. Women are very important. Youths are very important. How do you have secretariats without talking about women? Those who take care of women, without talking about youth. And Mr. President is wisdom. So listen, we cannot talk about government, we cannot talk about inclusivity without having these separate secretaries. So he approved the establishment of the Women's Secretariat. That's why we now have mandate secretary for women. And the clamor for the youth. You remember, when I was going around interacting with stakeholders, one of the things that they asked for, allow us to have the youth secretariat, appoint a mandate secretary that will be overseeing the affairs of the youth.
What would they be doing specifically?
What, of course, we're talking about how do you bring in the youth? How do you make sure the youth are involved in what is going on in government? How do you make the youth to empower them? Right? In fact, one of the assignments I get to the mandate secretary, listen, it is not merely shouting outside. Now you are the mandate secretary of the youth. You've asked for this youth secretariat. You must have to go and sit down now and bring a blueprint. How do we involve the youth and how do we create them to be part of the government? In terms of job, in terms of empowerment.
Has it done that?
It was just sworn in. So, but the point is, it is easy to stay outside and criticize. Now you have been given the opportunity. You have to show that really with the youth, we are really interested to make sure that we're involved in governance, we're involved in the development of the youth. You must bring a blueprint so that government will now know this is what we're going to do for the youth.
I know that they will do their job and submit to you, but I'm just trying to find out, what is your mindset? What would you like to see? Is it create jobs, create an environment for jobs, or what? For the young people particularly?
Now, let it not be I'm trying to take away the job of the mandate secretary. When we are talking about the youth, of course you have to talk about the creation of a job for them. You have to talk about how the empowerment. These are things you must have to. Not just creating a youth secretariat. No. You have to talk about job here, which is important. In fact, if you ask me, I'm trying to submit to Mr. President a supplementary budget, because before now, the youth secretariat was not there. Now that it's been established, so there must be fund for them. I have in mind what we call Youth Development Fund, but let me not. Let
me take you to one other area.
You are talking about youth. You are talking about youth. What about the clamor for inclusion in governance? That was one of the things you promised. Carry youth up.
First of all, you have a youth mandate secretary that involved. The general council is a youth. The mandate secretary for area council is a youth. So they're involved in government. But again, establishing a secretary like this for them tells you they have to play a lot of roles in government. But like I said, that is the job for the mandate secretary, to bring his blueprint and how government will really have positive impact.
What about the mandate secretary for women affairs who have been there longer than this ones? Have we seen?
Yes.
Have we seen any
blueprints?
Yeah. Yes.
Any visible changes?
No, but
appointment of.
Remember that they have not even stood up to the mandate secretary for women.
Yeah.
We had other mandate secretary before the approval for the establishment of the women secretariat. She came in, if I'm right, around January, February this year.
Yeah.
Mind you, we had done the supplementary budget of 2023 before the establishment. Now what we now did was to include them in the 2024 budget, which she has submitted what she intends to do as far as women are concerned. And we're in the process of procurement to making sure that all those things she wants for women and for women to be affected are all there.
So we've talked about, human development, this aspect of an inclusion, just like you have spoken about. In terms of, looking at your intervention scientifically, you've seen infrastructure development in different aspects, the rail, the roads and all that.
Yes.
But you and your colleagues signed performance bonds with the president last year.
Yes.
In terms of the timelines, what is the report at the moment?
Well, I think that should be, if you ask, I'm not the examiner. That will be the office of the SL to the president to say, look, in terms of deliverable and the time that this minister or ministry, but if you ask me, as a student who wrote the exams, I would say that yes, we've done creditably well.
Adding to that, I'll say, have you met your goals?
That's the point I'm trying to do. That's the point I'm trying to do. You cannot get
areas where
100%.
measure.
But in terms of, okay, we've just been able to talk about human capital development and the rest of it, what we've been able to do. In fact, just because you asked, which I would have also told you, one of the things Mr. President did that has aided our work today, and that is pulling us from the TSA. If that was not there, it would have been difficult in terms of provision.
That's your instance?
Of course.
Okay, you identified this as
yes, I felt that looking at the whole scenario, and it was hampering effective provision of infrastructure and the rest of it. Every fund was the central bank, right? Was the central bank. And if that is the case, you are not going to participate in the wider financial market. You have no business with commercial banks. So it is only when funds come from either the national budget or your IGR, which is paid to the central bank, that you can embark on any project. So I now say, look, Mr. President, you see governance as business. You don't want your business to fail. So you don't want governance to fail. You don't want to give excuses. One of the best things I think you can do is allow the FCT to pull out, to participate in the wider financial market, where we can ask Bank A, we need this money to be able to execute our projects. And Bank A is okay. How do we get our money back? It's okay. Yes, you can get our money back. Let our IGR be paid into our account with you. And then you now deduct monthly in order to be a sort of paying back. What's the advantage of that? The advantage of that is that you are no longer waiting that every month is what I get from IGR. Take for example, if you get 20 billion, it means that you'll be sharing that 20 billion, for example, amongst all interests. And that may not be enough. Now the bank has given it for maybe 200 billion, right? And bank has agreed, look, we'll be taking like 6 billion or 5 billion monthly, as the case may be. Now you have 200 billion spending on infrastructure. You still have leftover from the IGR, which you can use to run daily activities. So the contractors they are aware that there is fund for them. So everybody want to work.
No, Your Excellency, many would recall that when you came into office, you hit the ground running as soon as you assumed office. And in terms of the infrastructural development in the FCT, a lot of transformation has happened in the last 1 year. However, other people share different thoughts with regards to your attention to other sectors like agriculture, education, transportation, and security, which has been an age-long issue in the FCT. What plans do you have for these other sectors that you just mentioned?
People are not being fair to government. You talk about transportation. You were here when the president flagged off the operation of our the rail, which was comatose. Today, daily passengers will have not less than 4,000 that use that rail. And the reason of Mr. President, he gave out for 6 months free ride, which will expire by the end of this year. We have been able to flag off 2 bus terminals. The third one will be 26th of this month, which will be at the central business area at the back of the Able Square. That is to improve our transport system. When we talk about education, they forgot that I flagged up total rehabilitation of over 21 schools as we came. As I speak to you, I sent a letter to the Bureau of Public Procurement as of yesterday to allow us emergency rehabilitation of not less than 30 schools. Because if you allow to go to the procurement process, that takes another 3-4 months, and the year is ended. I just spoke with the DG this morning, and he said, look, I should be assured that they are going to give attention to it. That is in terms of education. Not only that, for the first time, where teachers are saying they have never had any training since in this FCT. But for me, education is not only providing infrastructure. Part of quality education to making sure that the teachers are well trained to be able to impact positively on our children. These things, you may not see them. What you see is because people use the roads every day. I'm coming to security, and the rest of you say you know what we have done. It's not just saying, what have you done? No. Most of these schools too are in the rural areas. We have not only concentrated in schools in the city. Ordinarily, it is not our duty to go and begin to talk about primary schools, the function of the area councils. But we cannot say because the area councils are not able to carry out this, therefore, we shut our eyes. No, we are not allowing that. Look at the area of security. What was FCT as at the time we came? You were talking about kidnapping here and there. When we came, we said, look, we are going to tackle it head on. Security agencies were lacking what they require in terms of fighting crime. No vehicles. They are not encouraged in terms of logistics. But as we came, I made sure that all these things were provided for them to be able to fight crime. You will attest to the fact today that yes, people can now sleep with their eyes closed in FCT. That does not mean from time to time you will not be able to say, oh, this crime has been committed. And I want to tell anybody, as far as society is concerned, even developed societies, you will not hear that no crime was committed. No, it's not correct. But if we are very, very objective, you will know that security has improved after FCT is concerned. We are not resting on our own. We are believing that we must still work hard. The CP and other security agencies are doing very well. You know, you only hear one crime, but you will hear that they were able to stop about 50 crimes because you're not in a position. I get intelligence report, security report every day, every morning. The Commissioner of Police will send me the report. See what has happened last night, see what was done, see what you have raided here, see the criminals, and I can tell you with all confidence that they have done well.
What about?
I'm coming. I'm talking one by one. Okay. Now I'm talking.
Okay, about 4.
Yes, I'm talking about agric. Yes. Luckily for us, I had a meeting with the ambassador of Italy. Today is Wednesday. That was last week Friday. Yeah. He came here and said, "Look, there's an opening for us to partner with Milan. And what area do we really want?" I said, look, I'm not very much interested in all this memorandum of understanding. I'm not interested in all this signing agreement. At the end of the day, you get nothing for it. Practically, tell me how serious are they in terms of partnering with us as far as agriculture is concerned. We have very good land for agriculture. We are ready to provide not less than 20,000 hectares of land for agriculture. And I can tell you, I was very elated as at Monday when I spoke with the governor. And we are going to Milan in the second week of September to concretize this arrangement as far as agriculture is concerned. You see, we talk about, I don't want to talk about, we have been giving out fertilizers, we have been giving out seeds to farmers. That cannot really solve the problem in terms of food security. You need proper farming. And that is why in all the rural areas today, which has not been the case, you can't find roads. And how do you talk about agriculture when there's no road? How do you convey the produce? How? So we make sure that, look, if we're really talking about agriculture, there must also be road infrastructure. That's why if you go to the 6 area councils, go and see the openings. Go and see the openings. The local farmers are happy that yes, they can go to farm. Security has improved.
What is your target for that sector so we can know what to measure and how to approach it? What are you targeting and when?
We're still talking about inner roads.
That was my question. That's where I wanted to go.
This is about food security, guys.
That is where I wanted to go to, because I know that during this administration's first year in office, you did commissioning for between 9 to 11 days.
Yes.
Project upon project.
Yes.
But citizens are asking, with this energy and zeal within the city center, what are you doing for the rural and satellite communities?
That is what I've said here. I said that for the first time, it has never been the case that we have 6 area councils. As I speak to you, there's no area council that you go to now, you will also 2-3 roads being done at the same time. Even during the commissioning, we also commissioned roads in the way, even though it did not get the attention of the presidency. We did not invite the presidency to come and commission such roads like in Parley, all right? By this December, by the grace of God, we are commissioning not less than 75 kilometers of road in the 6 area councils by this December. And these are roads that are being carried out by serious contractors like Cetraco, like Gilmore, like that. So, what is our strategy? These roads are necessary in order to encourage our local farmers to have access to their farm areas. 2, for those who want to do very large mechanized agriculture, which we are trying to partner with the Milan. Can you do this when you don't have access road? So it's key that there must be access roads.
Can we bring on board a little bit, because we may need to join 2 concepts in terms of agriculture and security. I remember in some of our discussions we were talking about some arrangement with the bordering states in terms of securing, especially our local areas that are, have joint borders with Kogi, for instance, Kaduna, Niger, and Nasarawa, to make sure that those places are secured, especially because, of course, we have farming communities there, and we have a lot of, also roots that some of these people...
Honorable Minister, I don't want you to lose sight of the question that my colleague from ADB asked, which is, what is the intention, what is the goal, the objective of your policy on agriculture, for instance?
Exactly.
Is this self-sufficiency in food production for local consumption?
What do they expect?
Or for export?
First of all,
to contribute to Nigeria's
first of all, you have to feed yourself first before you talk about export. The problem today is that food prices are high. It's not true.
Yeah.
Or they are not available. So our policy, first of all, provide enough food so in order to crash down the prices, so that your people will not die of hunger. Then, subsequently, you can talk about using agriculture to raise revenue. But you can't talk about just revenue when you are running down of hunger. Nigeria has removed taxes on some commodities in order to make the people to survive. So our policy first, feed ourselves, feed our people, then you talk about raising revenue.
Well, Your Excellency, what is your plan concerning the housing deficits in the FCT? That is another area that I believe a lot of people would want to hear what plans you intend.
The agri part is not concluded.
Let's finish with you. Can you allow him to attend to the one?
No, we'll come to that still.
Okay.
So, sir, maybe as a follow-up to what we were talking about, because, to do agriculture successfully, of course, there must be security, and those, locales, those environments are places that are a little bit porous to, some of these people coming in, like we discussed, the last time.
I have said to you, when we're talking about improvement in security, we are not talking about only just in the city. You can't talk about security only in the city. You must also talk about security in the rural areas. If security is not improved, that would hamper the policy of agriculture. So you need to improve security in the rural communities for them to be able to go to their farms and then to be able to produce. So our policy is that, look, in order to encourage our farmers, you must assure them of safety. And that's why today, within the borders, like I've said, Abuja is at the center. You have, like you said, Niger State. You have Kaduna State. You have Kogi State. You have Nasarawa. That's why the security will try as much as they could during the last protest to make sure there was no infiltration from hoodlums from these areas. Is to tell you that security has really improved in most of the boundaries. Like I said before, that does not mean you cannot say one kind or the other.
Minister, this part of the question on agriculture, just one more, if you will. The problem we've always had is storage, perishable goods, transporting these products so that it can be sustained. So are you looking at the larger chain? Are they going to have off-takers if they produce? All of those things.
I think that you cannot talk about just if you want to feed the people. You must have storage. It is all inclusive. You can't talk about farm, only just going to produce. You must also have storage to be stored.
So you need more than the farmers.
Farming does not, the mistake we talk about farming is like you just going to farm, to plant. It also includes, in terms of production, how do I store them? They are perishable goods. So you have to provide a storage. We have what we call processing. All these are inclusive. So it's not only making it available for people to just go to farm. We're not talking about mechanized farming. It is all inclusive.
So are we seeing people show interest in that sector since this policy has been on? For instance, I listened to some of the leaders in I think it was Parley or so, where they said that if the necessary things are provided, particularly road and security, that they are in a position to produce enough bananas or plantain and cassava to feed the entire nation. Yeah. So I'm wondering if people are key into that already.
I have said this severally, but we are providing access roads that will make our farmers to go to their farm too. We also said we have improved security to assure them of that safety, for them to be able to go back to farm. I have said to here severally, but I also said that having said that, yes, security has improved, does not mean that you cannot hear one or two crimes being committed. I made that clear. And I said, and that is what has given confidence to a rural populace that today, that I wish you may have time to take, let us go and see what you are talking about when you talk about access roads.
Well, Your Excellency, do you think that the FCT produces enough agricultural produce to be able to not just feed the people, like you rightly mentioned, but also establish processing and manufacturing industries to boost up the manufacturing and export industry, especially in Abuja?
That question you asked, I thought you should have answered it by yourself. Why are we talking about food scarcity in the country? If we have been able to produce enough, then we will be talking about food scarcity. So, but if we say, are we making plans for FCT to be able to be self-sufficient in terms of food production? Yes. But have we been able to do that? No. I mean, have we been able to say we have produced enough that can sustain everybody in FCT? That is no.
So if we are not going to belabor this agri too much, can we just perhaps just look at this one as maybe to round it off? Are we targeting particular commodities, or is it just a general thing? Are we targeting particular commodities? We could probably
first of all we have advantage of producing so many things. We have advantage that we can produce yam. We have advantage we can produce rice. We have advantage we can produce cashew. So it will take the ones you know that you'll be able to produce to the point that yes, you will be satisfied. You cannot say you want to involve. It's part of the problem we have. Take for example, when I went to Plateau. Okay, when we were campaigning then, our PDP, then our PDP primaries. So I went to Plateau to campaign. I think that was my first time of going to Plateau. So as we were landing, I said, look, this country is just a waste. Look at the weather conditions in Plateau, look at the lands. So for me, I said, I will ask a question. what is the advantage? What do they have as advantage to them than any other state? Take for example, because okay, in this region, I think you have advantage of producing rice. Take for example, in this region, I think you have advantage of producing cassava, for example, because of the type of land you have. My intention is, can we have land? Because land belongs to state government, does not belong to federal government. So Plateau, tomatoes, what do you call it, carrots or this.
Yeah.
If we go, yes,
Irish potato.
if we go into this, that would be good. Not just planting, also processing. If Plateau gives us, for example, 20,000 hectares of land, I believe that the federal government should be able to, okay, we are going to bring so amount of money. Sit down, form a special proposed vehicle that the state government has interest, the federal government has interest, but will not be run by the state or by the federal government, but will be given out to experts who will manage that farm. So we are producing just potato and this and that, and then we are doing processing. You go to rivers, for example, what's the advantage? Is it palm oil or is it cassava? Can we have so hectare of land? Government is going to bring the money. Government is not going to give the state the money. The government and the state can form a special purpose vehicle for the purpose of producing this in a larger, and even for export. Now, you find that, and that's what concerns me most, when I had, before now, that, okay, I was governor then, and then that the central bank has spent over 500-something billion, what do you call it, anchor, and then I just asked myself, come on, so where's the food? No, are you telling me that if you put 500-something billion naira in farming today, you will not see the commodity? So the point is, you see, let us tell ourselves the truth. Even those who say they are farming, for example, is it really true that they are farming? You know, but see, leadership, and that's why in this country it requires sometimes somebody who can say to hell.
You think it's not true?
I don't want to, but what I'm trying to say, what I want to say, see, it makes you mad. When a country will tell you they spent 580-something billion
to grow rice.
To grow rice. And then you can't, sometimes that flood has taken off the whole thing. I mean, you just look at the whole thing. I don't want to, you see, these are the things that, but you see, it requires, you know, politics is a very, very delicate.
So are they political farmers?
I don't know what you will call it, but what I'm trying to say, to be serious, so you don't divert our attention to.
You went there, so we need to know because we don't have that information.
What I'm saying that, having had when such figure was rolled out, I expect that yes, if that money is really put to farming, as it was, then we can be talking about hunger.
Or rice costing 80,000.
I mean, we can be talking about that. So it is not, for me, it's not just coming to say that, look, I'm a farmer, I need money. Government should also put up a serious task force that, look, this money does not just go that way. If, I mean, you know, if you tell me that you're going to do farming, yes, what period from what period that we expect? Take, for example, if it is rice, how long does it take? Do you understand me? Maybe it takes 2 days, for example. I will make sure that 2 days we are seeing the production of the advice. Because if not, you go in for it. And it must be, you see, people must need to be punished. And that's why just like somebody comes here and you pay him mobilization fee, for example, to go and do job. And he comes to give you excuses. That can't happen. That can't happen with me. And that is why every company knows I can wake up from the house, tell my ugly, we are heading to so area now. Tell the director of press, everybody, we are going to so place. I don't give the contractors notice. The moment you give them notice, they prepare. That's what they do. But, yes, but when you come, you will know the reality. Yes, work is going on, work is not going on.
Away from agriculture now, let me take you to transportation. And then transportation, I spent 6 months in Abuja, and I looked at the mass transit scheme that you've always talked about. Now private vehicles, account for like 80% of running as commercial vehicles, cabs, unpainted, unmarked vehicles, and that has led to the surge of this one chance, a menace of one chance. What are you doing to ameliorate the sufferings of the people for this mass transit scheme?
I have said here, and probably it's good that people forget yours too. When you ask about, we're only concentrating in infrastructure. We are not talking about transport. Before I go to rail and then go to the we're building bus terminals where all the vehicles that apply on the road, you know they are going to social terminal, they know whom you are, whom you are not. I said so, yeah. By the grace of God, we can't just now go to the road and send everybody away. You have not made an alternative. You must have to provide alternative. And that alternative is to reduce this level of one, except you take the risk on your own by going on the road. A vehicle you don't know, there stops, it's okay. So if anything happens, that is, it's not everywhere. That would be wrong to say it's everywhere. No.
Most places.
No. How many places have you been to Abuja? You see, it is wrong for you to sit, even me as a minister. No. Let me clear this. Even me as a minister, how many places can I say, as far as even the city is concerned, that you have been to? I move around, but I cannot claim every street in the city that I know. It's not correct. So it will be wrong for you to say everywhere in Abuja. You sit one place or in your street, and then somebody tells you something. You now generalize that is the case. It is not. I'm not saying you don't have such a situation in some areas. Mind you, some of these crimes we'll talk about. If you look at the crime commission, you look at some areas, there are type of crime that takes place in so area. No one crime you can say, like in the city, it will be difficult, like say where we are. It will be difficult for armed robbers to operate here. You know that? It will be difficult. But it will be easier to operate outside. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you can't see the armed robbery to be rampant in the city. It cannot be possible.
Okay.
Now the mass transit scheme you talked about, we know the terminals are already being built.
Yes.
And we know that Abuja population is over 3 million. How many, what is the target that your administration is looking at in terms of providing adequate transportation via the mass transit schemes when these terminals are built?
No government can provide. No government can provide such number of vehicles that will be adequate or enough. But you need to partner with private businessmen. No one government can try it to provide everything. It's not possible. It's not possible. That's why we're encouraging. We can take, for example, we have both vehicles. And we know that government is not a good businessman. Those vehicles are about 90. We have been debating, what do we do? Some people say, look, why not call the unions, right? And say, look, we are willing to give out this vehicle or so condition. Some people are like, no, why not take it as part of empowerment? As empowerment how? Say some of the youths who are doing nothing, why not give them these vehicles for them to go into this work? The argument. People are looking into the pros and cons. We've not been able to take a...
So the jury is out there on this issue?
Say what?
The jury is out on this issue?
Yes.
Undecided.
Okay. No. You see, you don't rush into taking decision that way.
Yeah, because
you just have to internalize it. It's not a, you see, sometimes when some of you outside, you look at it as if you must take a decision immediately. You have to look at the pros and cons before you go into it.
Okay. Let me ask you this before we hit the hour. I don't know if it's come to your notice. I mean, I know there's a new tax drive, an initiative in the FCT, but are you aware that there are some people who are doing business in the FCT and even on the streets that are being consistently harassed by, I don't know if they call them AMAC, but you see people who just always approaching cars, so people don't really know who they are for some reason for the first time.
You're talking about thoughts and thoughts.
Exactly. Is that the initiative? Is that the plan? What's going on?
Look. Let us tell ourselves a simple truth. I was away. A colleague of mine, a friend of mine called me. He's a senior advocate. Said, sir, people came to my office now trying to hijack all our cars. Yeah. I said, what is that? So they're from Transport Secretariat. I said, what is that? I said, give the person the phone. I said, who are you? He said, what are you? He said, pack and pay. I said, what do you mean by pack and pay? Pack car in my house and I pay? And do you know it was correct? So I called the Transport Secretariat. The mandate secretary. Let's come. Who introduced this pack and pay? What does it mean? Who collects the money? Now, unknown to us, there is an agreement between the secretariat and some people who say they are consultants. And then I said, consultant? Then I said, okay, consultant takes 80%. And the state government takes 20%. That's okay. Where is this money being paid? This 20% to government. But that's okay. Come on, draft a statement and call the director of press. Send out a statement that is no, the public should be aware that don't call pack and pay. So sometimes these things are done in connivance with the various secretariats. I was a governor. I know that this will happen. It happens. So you will not deny the fact that you have some people who are doing that. Yesterday, I was watching television. And then I saw where they said the sports department has given out a consultant, something like that. I said, sports department, a consultant to do what? So I called the head of service. Who approved for the appointment of this consultant? I said, okay. Call me the mandate secretary of the social development secretariat. I said, he must be here this morning to explain to me. So these are things you have to fight within the system. And it is not easy. It's not easy. But see, you sometimes, if you don't bring it to our attention, we may not know. We can't be everywhere.
So this one now is illegal.
It's illegal. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. That's why I said, go and make an announcement to the public. It does not exist. And even my colleague, when my friend did not call me, if it not happened to him, I would have known. I would have known.
Yeah. Honorable Minister, sorry.
Yes, but you see, the point I'm taking, no matter how you shuffle, you still have civil servants working with you. You see, it is not easy. But you try as much as you can to reduce it to the barest minimum. But to say that you will find one of such things, then you are not being sincere. Because I know the system. So, but we must continue to fight hard. Some people go on the road. Look, sometimes I disguise myself. I'll tell my agency to drive. No security, nothing. And then before you know, before you will stop, you see someone coming. The one they see my face, they start running away. So you can imagine what is happening to other people. So, but like I said, it is not easy. But we're coming to the point that you can say, yes, this has been reduced to the BRS minimum. But don't go home to say it will not. No. People do all kinds of things. Even those working in your office can also run such deal. That's why in revenue, there are a lot of deals. Even in terms of land, there are a lot of things going on. But you try to stop the ones you can stop. The ones you cannot stop, what do you do? In your office, racketeering is going on. So that's what it is.
Honorable Minister, on top of the hour, we need to go on a quick break. It will be just for 3 minutes. When we come back, we still have like 15 minutes or so to still spend on FCT issues, and then we'll go a feed on general issues, politics particularly, and all of that. So, if you permit us, we should go on break now.
You're in charge.
All right, we'll go on break. We'll come back on top of the hour. We'll come back 3 minutes thereafter to continue the session with the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Wike. Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Wike. We're going to the last round now, and of course we'll start this way. Honorable Minister, we know that President Tinubu campaigned under a renewed hope agenda, and you promised that you were going to fly that mantra in your maiden briefing where you reported at the FCT ministry. And the question is, how much of support are you getting from the president to translate his renewed hope agenda to the people of the FCT? Because if there's one place to preach it by Mr. President, it is probably the FCT, where he didn't get much votes in the 2023 election.
Well, you can see by yourself what is going on, the revolution in the FCT. I have said before, it requires strong leadership to be able to implement so many things we are doing in FCT. And that is what Mr. President has shown. First, I told you that he gave the support for the implementation of FCT being on their own. I told you that he gave the support that FCT should pull out from TSA. But for that, we would have had serious problems. Mr. President has given me everything I require to work as far as the FCT is concerned. I don't have any excuse or excuses not to perform, because everything you require as a tool to do your work has been given. Luckily for me, Mr. President has never one day interfered in anything concerning FCT. Never. Sometimes there are some decisions I take that I know that it will not go down well to so many people or to some people. And I believe that Mr. President may summon me for this. But I go to him and say, I took this decision. He says, so why did they put you there? I put you there so you'll be able to take such a decision. We require strong people who will be firm to take a decision and stand by it. And so that's why it's very easy for me and my team to operate. I am one minister that should not complain at all. There's nothing I have sent to Mr. President for approval. Take, for example, we have issue of procurement problems. Our threshold for capital project here, if it's more than 1.5 billion, you have to go to FEC. You have to pass to the BPP.
More than
1.5 billion. Now, it's more than, if it is in terms of goods, it's more than 300 million. You have to go to BPP and go to FEC. More than 300 million. I always felt, this is going to affect us. We can't do anything. It means that in 3 months, no meaningful project can be carried out. And I wrote to Mr. President, and I said, sir, this cannot be possible. We are out of TSA. We are not operating as a ministry. We have our own secretary as seen as commissioners. We have FCT Executive Council. Just like we also have our Security Council meetings. So I don't understand how this can be possible. It is therefore necessary to increase our threshold. Okay. I'm coming to tell you the support she has given. He increased for goods from 300 to 5 billion. For capital projects, from 1.5 to 10. What support do you want for somebody? Yes, he gave the approval. And everybody is so happy. Works are now going on, but like we're talking about schools now, the emergency rehabilitation. So people are now moving. But if it's not that case, then we can't do anything. So what kind of support do you want that has not been given? That's why it is difficult for me to give excuse that this is not working because of this. Okay. It's not working. Very, very good.
This is just a clarification on some of the things you said previously about the park and pay.
Yes.
In order for us not to be accused of misquoting you, does it also apply to the airports? The instruction you gave that it doesn't exist anymore.
I don't have any role in the airport. It's not under FCT. Airport is under FAN, it's under the aviation.
So this is the entire FCT, excluding
we have no business as far as the airport is concerned. The only business we have, which I told the minister, and the one doing the road, you are not connecting the toll. When the road is bad, you say FCT, come and help us do the road. So we have no business. We have no business. Okay. So if you find anybody who is doing anything at the airport, that is their business with the use of aviation.
Talking about infrastructure development, Honorable Minister, we've seen a lot of things you have done. Yeah. But the citizens, of course, naturally will still want more. Yeah. Katampe one, they are talking about infrastructure development and feeling the touch of the FCT. Guarimpa, they said the gates leading to the place there's a gully, especially when it is raining. That has been mentioned, and then issue of also evacuation of waste in some areas. It's not really as expected.
Let me not bore you. After I speak to you, the procurement process is going on as far as Katampe is concerned.
That's Katampe?
Yes. We're doing the selective tendering. You know, there we're having where we're building judges' quarters. We're having where they are building Court of Appeal, FCT division. So we're carrying out massive infrastructure in terms of road and Katampe, but we're in procurement process. Let me tell you this, in the next 1 year, what you will see in Abuja, you can come back and beat your chest. Yes, I think we have gotten it right. In terms of road infrastructure, not only in the city. Now, I went through Yaya, Karu, Orozu to Kashi the other day. I felt so bad. The road was terribly bad. I said no. I called the coordinator of STD. I want an estimate of this road immediately. I wrote to the DG, approved for us for emergency 18 kilometers. I said, if we don't do this now, with the rains, it will be something else. It will be something else. That is Yaya, Karo, Orozo, down to Karashi. 18 kilometers. Now, if we go to Kuje, wherever, if you see from the airport down to Kuje, it's 10 lanes. Now, within Kuje, we're able to dualize Kuje down to their boundary with Gwagwalada. Now, I want to do from there now, dualize it to Gwagwalada itself. Right? So, by the end of the day, you will see that people in Kuje, you don't need to live in Abuja. You don't need to. 15 minutes from there, you're in the city. But they can because there's no road. Even from Gwagwalada, you don't need to pass to the airport again. By the time you do announce Kuje to Gwagwalada, you take that and you're in the city here. So we are not restricting ourselves to just road in the city. No. But you will see heavy development in terms of road in next 1 year. You talked about the refuse. Let me tell you, that's one area I'm fighting hard in terms of, you know, these contracts were, I don't know, contract over 1,000 persons. Contracts were awarded. It's really unfortunate, the kind of rot we find in the system, but you have to be careful to fight it because they're all there waiting for you. I can assure you we are going to improve on that. You talk about the golden boy, you know, sometimes, you know, there are things that some residents should be able to do. If there's a small pothole in front of your house, as residents there, you can't also look. Can we put ourselves together and make sure we cover this pothole? Things that will not even cost you. That's what we call some kind of service you should also render. I have told our engineering services in FCT to go and identify areas of flooding when it rains on the road. If you see that no drainage is open, they are all covered drains. So sometimes these drains must have been blocked. So they are not identifying to let the companies who did those jobs to go back and open those drains. So they are identifying that one by one, so I will be able to now know.
One more question from him before we go to politics.
Okay. Well, Honourable Minister, earlier I was trying to establish, your take on the housing deficits in the FCT. And we all know the President's renewed Hope City, which was recently commissioned in Karsana, and which would also happen in other parts of the country. Now, you established that the President has given you massive support as Minister of the FCT. What would you say you are doing in your capacity as Minister to also help the President in solving the issue of housing in the FCT?
Take, for example, the renewed Hope agenda housing right from Wentzel. You can't continue with that without the roads. The Minister of Housing has written to me, look, this thing will not work without the provision of roads. As I speak to you now, when procurement process to do all the roads to that New Hope city, which takes about 14 kilometers, all right? Our business is to encourage private sectors. We provide the access roads, then they have their funds to build. Before we came, they were awarded Maitama 2. And that Maitama 2 is over 700 hectares of land. And the plotted is about 1,700 and something plots. Total about 93 or 94 kilometers. That road was awarded the procurement process started in April 2023, but was, no, in March 2023, but was awarded either 12th or 13th of May 2023 to Dantata and Sao at the cost of 184 billion. Now, Gusabe 1 was awarded to the same Dantata and Sao before we came in. And now, Dantata and Sao stopped work in Gusabe 1 and was asking for augmentation, variation. Now, when I came on board, they said, look, because of the increment, that it has to go to Mr. President, for Mr. President to approve before we go to the Bureau of Public Procurement. Luckily, Mr. President approved for the augmentation, and then we went to Bureau of Public Procurement, and in part of that bill, they put in foreign components of, so Bureau of Public said, look, what has come to do with this? Why will you quote in dollar or euro? In fact, there's a fund I saw, which we are supposed to pay to them, about 1.something million euro. So I asked question, what is euro doing in this contract? What are we importing? But that is the case. Now, what baffled me, we are talking about variation, you are out of sight, and we have not paid you. We don't have money. How did you, and I asked them, how did you now, you have not paid for this. How did you now go and award a job of 184 billion
to the same company?
To the same company, when you don't even have the money to pay for this? I mean, I don't understand it. Now, obviously it is important that that infrastructure is carried out in Matama. If that is done, houses will spring up. But it cannot now because there's no access road. So access road is key in order to reduce the housing deficit.
Which you're already on top of.
That's what we're doing now.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. So it is for our own contribution. It's not we government going to build house. No, it is not that. But if private sector see that there are access, there are infrastructure, they will certainly go there and build houses, and which of course will reduce the housing deficit. So we are doing quite a lot. Right. Like I said, road is key to any development.
All right, Mr. Let's talk about politics. Recently, the chief clerk, he had petitioned the PDP, the hierarchy of the party, that they should thoroughly investigate you.
Okay.
And that if you're found guilty, you should be expelled.
Okay.
Then we have the PDP Board of Trustees visit the governor of Rivers State, and they used, the chairman said they will be seeking constitutional resolution. Would you be willing for them to visit you as well? Would you be willing to comply with whatever they say?
Let me talk about, I don't know the party that the chief clerk belongs to. Frankly speaking, since I entered PDP, I've never seen any PDP meeting. I don't like to react to when other statements like that. Every time he talks, but let me tell you the history so that people will know. In 2014, when I came out to run, Edwin Clark said, no, that it is the turn of the just, and that nothing will make me be the governor. I said, well, it is my right to run, and I fail, and I come back. But to the glory of God, I ran, and I won. Since then, yes, Edwin Clark had written me letters at least. I have refused to talk to anybody. I said I will not answer. I said I will not answer. I wasn't a bad person when I championed for the German to be governor. I have become a bad person simply because there are issues. And I kept quiet. There is nothing Chief Edwin Clark or elder statesman had not said, but I said, I will never, never, never. I will not reply to anything. If there's anybody who has contributed to the growth of PDP, as far as today, is me. So when I read it, they should investigate me. Investigate me for what? He was one of those who were talking about the Southern president. And I supported the Southern president. So what are you going to investigate me? Chief Edwin Clark was one of those who said, no, power must rotate to go to South. So what is the crime I have committed? But I also believed in that. So that I don't want to.
His grounds. His grounds is that you are making, whereas you work for the success of an Ijoma to be governor,
yes,
to succeed you,
yes,
but you have also been working to make that Ijoma fail.
How? How?
By the current crisis.
What is the current crisis? Is he not the governor? You see, leadership, everything will not be smooth. I was there. I had my own crisis. Did I blame anybody? I faced the crisis squarely. When I was there, you saw what the federal government did to me. Did I go and accuse any ethnic group? No. So, if you are in a leadership position, you should be able to stand by it, face the crisis. That's what politics is all about. Politics is not every time good. Sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will not be rosy. Now, you talk about whether I will listen to...
BOT.
Who's BOT? You see, that's what I don't like. How can I listen to where Adolphus Wabara, who has said that the president should warn me? You are aware that the president should warn me if anything happens in Rivers. That is the man who is going to lead for reconciliation. He said is the chairman that BOT is conscience of the party. Yes, we agree with the conscience. But you, who said, do you have conscience?
They said they were all neutral.
Neutral who? Baba cannot say he's neutral. He knows his own. Baba has no conscience to even say he will lead. Do you know how Baba became the chairman of BOT? In 2023, he led a team to visit me when that crisis in PDP about the presidential candidate, and I said, ask him what is the result of the report. That was the man who led. And even in River Stadium, while we were in the meeting, he was telling me the problem we are having here is Dr. Okusileze Nwodo. Look at him texting, that he's texting that now to the presidential candidate.
Okay,
no, let me finish. No. So you get it clear. And this is what makes me, when I see some people, I say, what kind of characters are these? Now, he told me they will not budge. As they are going now, they are going to submit the report and say the right thing must be done. Ask him, where's the report? The next day, they made him acting chairman of BOT to compensate him. He's a BOT chairman. His governor, Alex Oti, had not stayed 1 year. When he, chairman of BOT, said, look, your second tenure is guaranteed. Second tenure of another political party. And this is the man who says he has the conscience of the party. And yet, people are just talking. You have taken a position. And you want me to say you're inviting Wike to do what? To waste my time, to sit with you, to talk what?
You have a friend among them.
But here I remember,
Chief Bode George.
I didn't say Bode George as a person is different from who's leading the team. Bode George has always been my friend, but that does not mean that because he's my friend or he's my father, and therefore I'll go subject myself to people I know have been looking for every way to bring me down politically. Who does that? I will not do such a thing. They know that. They know. So there's no need of pretending.
Honorable Minister, sir, now several crises everywhere. Let's go back to your home state. What is your comment and position of what is happening in Rivers State?
What is happening like how?
A lot of your supporters, members of your political family who presently they are loggerheads with the governor, some have cried of victimization. And you are the head of that political family.
Yeah.
What is your position on what is happening?
You must know very well that my position has been very clear. That Rivers State House of Assembly must work. And that we cannot allow. I mean, this is a country, madness, where people are so shameless. You don't need to like Wike. You don't need to. But you sit in your house and say 3 people will constitute an assembly. You sit in your house. Forget about Wike. Just sit in your house. For whatever is the case. You said these people have defected. Who pronounces defection? You have gone to court severally. You cannot await the judgment of the court. And impunity is being carried out. I mean, you look at, forget I'm not from Rivers State, you are not from Rivers State, take it so. And you are reading on pages of newspaper, on your social media, shamelessly in a country. Somebody says it's the speaker. Then 2 people are members. And they go and buy lawyers, pay them money, go to Arise, go to channels, and begin to do drama. People who you think are senior lawyers that should be able to really sit down in their conscience and ask questions. This thing I'm doing, am I really right? That you want to take control of a state. It's natural in politics. Is that why you should allow impunity? A court pronouncing that you do not build budget. Whatever budget you said you have, it's not on the void. It won't go on appeal. Court of Appeal gives judgment today. The State High Court has no jurisdiction to talk about defection or vacancy. That's the Federal High Court. Today, tomorrow morning, you go again to the State High Court, file a suit using different people, and that one will grant expert order immediately. And Court of Appeal judgment today, tomorrow morning, all kinds of things. And you say we should fold our arms and then watch. Nobody should say anything. I have no problem. Let court make a pronouncement that indeed you are defected. Defection is not by you. Defection is not by you. I've seen so many people ranting. I've seen people who want to suck from the state. I like this boy every day. I see him on television. I don't know what it's called. What's that boy's name? He said he's in the House of Reps. Who wear this? I see what people could. In IPOP case, you will see him come out. Publicity. He goes every day. He talks about law. I don't know the law he's talking about. Every day, you see him talking about Rivers. I said nobody should answer him. I know him. I know his modus operandi. There is vacancy for sucking. Continue to suck. He clandestinely came to at Abuja using African Democratic Party to sue that INEC should conduct election. He thought we wouldn't know. Unknown to him, before he knew we were there. How can they go and tell, look, I will do this, I will do this? They correct money. They have filed over 33 suits. Over 33.
Are you not worried that you seem to be losing the kind of ground in River State?
No, anymore. Yes.
The sympathy is going.
Going to where?
The momentum and the sympathy.
Oh my!
Is favoring God.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You know, you people like politics of, you know. Look, when I was to run as governor, there was a sitting governor there. You remember? There was a sitting governor. There was a sitting governor.
All over Rivers now is Wike day or day. Wike day or day.
Oh, look. What? No problem. Day a day will reach one day. No problem. But what I'm trying to say is that I said I was not a sitting governor. We won. The court nullified virtually all assembly and national assembly. President Buhari was the president. The Minister of Transport was there. Was one of the highly rated ministers or close to Mr. President then. There was nothing that did not happen. It was like Gaza and Israel fighting. The government in power brought all the might. What happened at the end of the day? In my 2019, the federal government came out with all the might. What happened? In 2023, look, when they say, why can you lose Garcia? There are people, naturally, who are not happy with your growth, with your rise in politics. Take, for example, there are those who were in positions but could not have used their position to help their people. And they see you in such a position that you are not relenting. I'm here. If I'm worried, would I be concentrating on my job? No. They do not. But you see, like you said, it is when the time comes, then you now know who knows what to do or what not to do. It's not about you see somebody first. All those who have ganged up are those who swore over their dead body, will this governor be a governor? I defeat all of them. Yes. What is my quarrel with Secondus? When he was national chairman, he wanted to impose his cousin, who was the deputy governor, former deputy governor, to be the gubernatorial candidate. Yes. That was my problem. It doesn't mean you cannot impose their cousin here. Now I see him every day with the governor. I laugh. It doesn't bother me. I've done what I think I should do.
Are you sure you have done all that you should do? Let me about your influence dwindling in Port Harcourt.
How?
Let me explain.
Yes.
People who ordinarily look up to you, some years, I mean, less than a year ago, look up to you with so much respect. Today, they call you by your first name. Wike cannot call me and do this.
Look, that is.
Let me finish. Let me ask the question.
Am I there? You can say anything you say on television. It's not easy. See, look.
Let me ask.
It is not.
You don't even know where I'm going.
Okay, because
which is
yeah.
what I'm driving at is, for instance, the governor that you had loggerheads with is your creation. Nobody probably knew whom Sim Fubara was until he became candidate of the PDP. So it was your invention, your creation. It is unfathomable that today the two of you are what you are to each other. Don't you think, in the overall consideration of your own political status and the interests of Rivers, that you, as the leader, and the responsibility rests more on you to work for peace? Because, like you said, there have been a series of court cases. It hasn't worked. Mr. President has tried to intervene. It hasn't worked. Don't you think the responsibility is on you to work for peace?
There's nothing unfathomable there. There's nothing like that. You must look in politics. You can't say for sure this is how it will be. Why I say I've done my own part is I, with my conscience, did what I did without regretting, and I fought for it for him to be governor. And you now say, look, you are no longer interested to be in a political family. No problem. Nobody can force you. After all, Arabeshala, Ralph was born by who? Tinubu. Is he with him again? Did you support him? Of what all the president did for him? So why do you worry yourself about that? I cannot, in all honesty to you, tell you that there's a going back.
There's no going back.
There's nobody, anybody who knows me know.
You can't support him in 2027.
I'm not talking about support. What is support? The one I support, have I come out of it?
So you are enjoying the relationship you have now with people that you look up to before as fathers, but today you are longer people you regard as friends. You are draggers.
That's what politics. That's what politics is. So some people don't play politics of integrity. I do. I do. But you can't impose yourself. I know that who says people are saying day a day. Hey, let me do my day. You to day your own day, according to you.
All right, but
it doesn't worry me. I'm focused. I'm doing the work Mr. President has given to me in FCT. That's what bothers me now.
Honorable Minister, in terms of this day I day, at the state level, there is push and shove, talking about this, imbroglio in the PDP at the state level. In the national, we had this issue we discussed earlier. You have been the one that said you are not one to jump parties and all that. If your house is crumbling, politically, talking about the PDP, what would be, are you just going to day your day as you have said?
Oh, no, you see, that's why you should know that we must learn. Experience is very key. You must know what happened to you yesterday. I'm not allowed to happen today. If you fail to take history into consideration, then you are digging your grave. And that's why I've said PDP must be careful. As it stands now, the way they are going, they're trying to make sure we have crisis. Take, for example, anybody they think calls me on phone or relates with me is the weakest person. Therefore, the person must go. When you do that, what I try to let me do, I should fold my arms. The acting National Party chairman today is not my friend. He never supported me. The National Secretary, he never supported me. The National Organizing Secretary never supported me. These are their people. In fact, when I was in Germany, in Wiesbaden, when the National Secretary today wanted to run governorship against Hope Uzodimma, he came to me for support. I said, I'm not going to support you. I won't support you. I'm not here to play politics to say, okay, let me think about it. I don't do that. I told him I was not going to support you. What is the problem now? I said, let the right thing be done. You see that chairmanship is zoned to North Center, which is not correct. Chairmanship is zoned to North, and secretary is zoned to the South. It is within your area how you, do it. But we don't zone national chairman, North Center. Nobody did that. And that was why in the constitution of the party, they said when the national chairman is not there, the deputy national chairman from that zone will be acting pending when the convention is done for replacement. You don't appoint a national chairman. It's not a caretaker committee. You cannot appoint somebody to preside over those who are elected. And then you're telling us that, look, you want to go to Benue, North Central, to bring somebody. No, there'll be election, there'll be convention. It's not a category committee. And that's why the law says the deputy national chairman should have let you know be that is not loses out, that is not have lost out. And I say, look, we must follow the constitution. It is not, you see, politics the way, you see, some people, take for example, my friend, the governor of Bauchi, who is the chairman of governor, PDP Governors Forum, you had his own statement. He has his own interests. So he wants who will be another chairman that will play along to that interest. And nobody will talk. If you want to do anything, say, oh, you're a wicked person. And I said, look, the matter has gone to court for interpretation of the constitution of the party. What the court interpret this? Can you bring a chairman that's not elected to preside over those that are elected? The president of the working committee are all elected. And then he said, go and bring this chairman from Benue. I heard before Suswan, Senator Suswan. I'm hearing now the DG of the PDP Government Forum, which is the governor of Bauchi's private nominee, to go and preside over elected people. Are we working like military and civilian? And I said, nobody does that. You have to wait for convention. And that is the law. It's not about it. We did it yesterday. Yes, you may have done it yesterday, and nobody was able to challenge it. Does not mean if you do it today, somebody will not challenge. You know, you can get away with things. And people make reference, after all, last 2 days. After all, last 2 days, we did like this. I agree. We are not the same. Nobody had the same luck. That's why when I came here as chairman, you see my own was turbulent. Was not correct. As a minister. Was it not? Other people have come. Was it turbulent? So everybody has his own luck that nobody challenged it yesterday. Does not mean that somebody will not challenge it today. And if PDP takes that step, I as a person will challenge it. They know. I mean, you see, we are not in the way where anybody think you can come and box anybody in. See what is happening. See what's happening in PDP. The National Legal Advisor is fighting to make sure where he collects tax is not blocked.
And that is
Explain to us.
Okay, let me tell you. You know what they do? What they do is that National Legal Advisor, if a state, for example, has election petition, or probably, you talk with the governor. The governor will say, oh, I want to bring the lawyer that will stand for PDP. It's okay, you will pay this amount of money. Or he will bring, and then he will tell the person to charge fee. He collects his own. Now, I said that will stop. What happened? In 2023, you know we had a problem with the national. Now, when election petition came, that's why sometimes when you see things, you laugh. You laugh. It's a human beings are terrible. Do you know what these people did? Secondly, they went to the national to get lawyers that will represent PDP, so the election will be nullified. And I said, no, you can't send us lawyers. You cannot. I will not agree. That's only about, oh, they have rights. Okay, we went to court, and the Federal High Court right here, to test whether the state legal advisor has right to give instruction to lawyers to represent the interests of the party as it concerns the state. Now, the Federal High Court ruled that yes, the National Legal Advisor, no, you cannot do that. That the states, they all have that power, as far as it is the interest of the party at the state level. This national legal advisor did not appeal the judgment. He did not appeal the judgment. He did not even tell his Patuluku the court has given judgment. Now he knew that without judgment, he had lost the socket. So states will know their own, not call you. Now what did he do now? The matter he did not appeal since last year. Now because of this reverse problem, a gate of sucking has opened. He is now sucking. Now went to court to say no, he is going to represent PDP. And we said no, you cannot. This is a matter about defection of which people, in which state, that we have to produce the lawyer to defend our interests. The judge ruled. Relying heavily on the judgment of Federal High Court in 2023, which he did not appeal, and which he did not disclose to those who sucking money from now. And he lost. You know what he did? He now said, file a notice of appeal. So those who are giving money, he will tell them, look, we are still fighting on the matter. When he knows clearly, he did not even appeal the judgment of 2023. Now, and I said, we have never had it bad of a national legal advisor who has shown so much that as a senior advocate, no integrity. That made me, I went to Senator Saraki. I said, SP, how do you know this guy that you brought into the national legal advisor? He said, what happened? I said, this guy is something else. No integrity, a senior advocate. You can't tell people the truth simply because you want to. And Senator Saraki said, well, he will look into it. I said, I don't, this guy is something else. No integrity. A senior advocate does not mean, by that word, senior advocate, integrity comes in. Not only you knowing the law.
As a live venture, you should know that we have just about 5 minutes to round up this program. And,
I thought it was 10 minutes. Are you cutting my time?
Yes, that's why I wanted to cut your answer short, because I'm sure my colleagues are still angling to ask questions. Okay. So, considering the fact that we have just about 5 minutes,
short one, yeah.
Will the question be very short, both of you?
Honourable Minister, considering the fact that you have a lot of crises rocking your boat, both internally in your party and back home in Rivers State, any other person would have folded very quickly, but you are still standing strong, you are still fighting harder. And it appears to be that the only person who is giving you so much support that should have been coming from the PDP is the president, who obviously is on the other side of the divide.
Give me support how? You give me support to do my work.
Support to do your job.
The member of PDP, give me support.
Exactly. Yeah. But what I want to ask is, do you perhaps in the future see the possibility of exiting the PDP if this persists?
I have told you that I don't want to wait for any fight. I will stay there.
Where?
I will fight it out.
In the PDP?
Yes. Who am I going to run for? The vampires? How can you say that?
But your foot soldiers are already all in the APC.
Where are they?
The members of the House of Assembly.
You are the one telling me now.
The 27 members that are
that is the subject matter. That's why I said defections come from you who's mad.
To some people, it's like you're a fifth columnist in the PDP that you want to pull.
Oh, please, those are people who don't have anything to Can I tell you something? Anybody who knows me knows too well. If I want to join APC today, when I was there in PDP, didn't I say that, look, I will not support the presidential candidate? Did I do it secretly? All those people who are saying those things, did they bring one member that won election? The people did not win. I stood my ground in terms of the principle that if this is not done, we will not accept that. People should know you for something. Integrity is very, very important. Forget about those who say, if you couldn't, they say this, they are afraid of my face.
Well, Minister, it does appear as though, from what you've said, this may not be resolved until the next cycle of elections. I've heard you say convention and then courts have to decide, but do you really think that it can be resolved by the courts or politically?
Look. The only thing that has caused, people are very, very greedy. All these things you are seeing is what they are seeing. See, let me tell you what's unfolding. Atiku has his own people. Bala is building people for what he considers who will be president, this and that, whether to go to South and that. He has. Do you understand? Now, there's some other people too who are not known yet, playing ostrich. What I'm saying, and which you can't take away from, is that we must follow the law. Even if you hate this man, follow the law. What does the law say? It's not about plotting that you will bring wicked down. You cannot. You don't have what it takes to bring wicked down. You cannot. All Wike is saying, what is the law? What does the constitution of the party say? I will not just as a prominent member of the party, fold my arms, allow somebody to be appointed to preside over those who were elected. National chairman is by election. It's not by appointment to come and replace. That replacement.
Local version of the crisis first. The crisis.
I'm coming.
We don't have the time.
I'm coming. Yes, I don't know the answer to Port, but I'm coming. What I'm trying to say is that national chairman, if you're doing caretaker, it can be by appointment. But if it is to preside over those who are elected, that chairman must be by election, and that must be through convention. Now you talk about local version. What is local version? PDP is intact. PDP have done their world congresses. PDP have done their local government congresses. And their faction that did it. The state congress will be next week. Look, I understand how some people feel. I have passed through all this before. Some people who cannot, hunger. No, not hunger. I will use the word hunger. So many people can't stay out of power. You will see people who you think what they sought, the way they do. In fact, sometimes I begin to ask questions. If this man was my dad,
Honorable Minister, would you permit me to end this program so that we are not cut off?
Okay, so I sincerely thank you, even though you took all my time. But the point is that I'm a PDP member. Right. The law must be followed before we go. But if you think that you can go and sit down somewhere and say you will do this, you cause crisis for yourself.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I hope to see you again. We don't know how soon that will be. That depends on the Honorable Minister. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for granting us access to you once again.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it. Guys, we'll see you again.
We'll see again. You can take away the fact that you said Wike will not be weakened.
No. It's not in the dictionary at all.